after I was part of making this project and kind of worked with the way that this is called supervised machine learning, because you're kind of supervising the machine, you're telling it what are inside the different categories. Then I thought like everything in a way could be an input for me as an interaction designer and a digital artist. I can kind of teach the machine to recognize all sorts of different things, and they don't have to be visual things. As long as it's something that can be interpreted as data to a computer, then I could kind of play with it and maybe combine it with interesting outputs. Here's an image that I really like. It's this Norwegian photographer, Daniel Peider, who sent us this image. He wanted to make an online album of all his personal photos, and then he wanted to kind of like classify what was in the photos. And this was, I think, maybe 5 years before you had it now. Now I think it's on all phones. You can kind of search for things in your photo albums. It didn't exist then. He was interested in it for his own photos. I like to think of this thing called the Wundt curve, and if any of you were in the panel yesterday, then I tried to draw it in the air. So now I actually brought it today, and it's an idea by a German psychologist named Wilhelm Wundt about the relationship between pleasure and surprise. And it's from the 18th century. I don't know if it's like scientifically accurate at all, but I like to think of it when I do my own work. So the idea is that if something is not surprising at all, then it doesn't have a lot of pleasure for you. So one example is that you cannot tickle yourself because the body anticipates the movement. So it's impossible almost for you to anticipate the movement. There is no novelty or surprise in it. And what do I mean by synthetic images? Well, if we look back at it, it used to mean GANs, so generative adversarial networks that are trained on one type of image, and then they can generate synthetic ones in the same style. And usually GANs trained on faces, how they kind of around 2017 became realistically looking, so it's kind of hard to see whether a face was real or AI generated. But these techniques could only generate the stuff that they were particularly trained on. Empathize with that person that he doesn't know, read the whole room, read the context, and come up with one solution that is really good. And computers are just trying out lots of different things. A lot of these melodies, images, or solutions will not give you pleasure or will not really work in the context.